from your same realm that is a technical issue. Let's see. General view on new APIs like Mantle and DX12. You know, basically what they're doing is adding performance. If they, you know, if we get to a point where we can deliver the performance we need without them, then that's awesome. You know, and we'll see, you know, in general, we're much more likely to go down the DX12 route than the Mantle route because DX12 is just going to be supported on a lot more hardware. Any support for multiple screens? Yes. Yes, multiple screens. Yes, multiple screens. Yes, multiple screens. I am a triple head gamer at home. Yes. Let's see. Will there be lag if you have a larger ping? Sadly, yes, that is a nature of life. We're doing a lot of work to try and make that good, but you know, no one can go out there and say, there will be absolutely no lag in our game, even though our server is on a different continent from you, our players. You can expect that we will possibly have a European server, just maybe.
I mean, the bottom line is, and I talked about this as well in one of my updates. I mean, look, the speed of light is a constant, okay? And no matter how much, you know, you would like it not to be, if there is a delay, a packet still has to travel all the way here. And there's no way to, you know, say, oh, we magically anticipated that you were going to swing the sword at the guy. Now, is Andrew being really smart in the design so it's not as silly as, ooh, I just missed one packet, now you're totally screwed? But the bottom line is lag can be lag. And we're doing a lot of things, and our IT guys can talk about that as well. That, look, things get better and better and better. And we are focused on having a great performance for all of our players in the US and Europe and in Asia as well that, you know, want to try to play this game from there, including, you know, obviously, whether it's Australia, we have a lot of backers from there. We have some from New Zealand. So, you know, we have them in IT too. So it's been interesting so far, and again, as our IT guys can tell you, it's getting better.
Okay, catching back up. Yeah, lots of questions about servers. Everyone's excited that I just announced a Euro server. That was always in the cards. That, yeah,
exactly.
One of the more ambitious things we're doing with PhysX. I'm going to leave that for a gameplay announcement. I think we could probably schedule some live gameplay earlier. Let's see. Can we expect equally innovative things graphically? Again, our focus is on innovating with the gameplay. We're going to do the graphics good enough, and that Nvidia's, you know, just come in and given us a whole package of making good enough even better without a lot of effort on our part, which is wonderful. Okay, culling. The reality, okay, right now we draw a lot farther with a lot more characters than you might have seen in some games. You know, the reality is if someone is on the complete other side of the continent from you, we are not going to spend the network bandwidth to tell you about that person. But you know, you will not see the level of culling that some people have done in certain other games. We're far above, we're drawing a lot farther with more characters than what you're probably thinking of with culling. Okay, I'm sorry, like we have like this really narrow, large print view of this of the screen. I'm sorry if your question scrolled off, we're not seeing it. Okay, stop people from reskinning camo. I'm going to assume that means essentially, you know, changing people to have invisible textures or something like that. I'm not gonna give a rundown on absolutely every single security feature in there. there's a lot of crypto in our patcher and asset pipeline, though. And you know, there is a limit in what anyone can do with a program running on your computer because it's your computer. But we're doing a good job. We're not being dumb. I've been around the block on seeing the dumb. What kind of weather effects? Right now we do have a day-night cycle. We actually have even cooler, and whether we build gameplay out of this or not, but I actually wrote, I spent an afternoon being really, really self-indulgent and wrote kind of a mini orbital mechanics simulator. So the sun actually goes through, and moon too, go through a phase of, go through all their phases and seasonal changes. Now, whether we can do it, whether that's going to be part of gameplay or not is, at least the possibility is there on the table. But right now, yeah, if you log into the game right now, the sun will be where it would be in Washington, D.C. today.
And guys, I'm sorry, but we're just not answering any questions that are not technical. So I know you keep asking them. Understand we're not being rude. We have a lot of presentations to go through over the entire week. And so we are going to only answer questions that have to do with Nvidia, with technical issues regarding rendering, anything on really today's subject, physics, etc.
Right. So one person did say with collisions and server-side physics, won't there be rubber banding? We're doing that is pretty much where we are having our war. Yeah, we are, the programming team, and me in particular, there's a lot of focus on eliminating that. And especially by using the exact same physics code for collision on the client and the server, they both see and simulate the exact same collision, hopefully at about the same time, which does cut down on that a lot. 5 minutes. Okay. Let's see. What about DirectX? Please re-ask the question. How about mobile GPUs? We like laptops, definitely. From a programming point of view, it really is just, well, make it run, don't turn on every single feature. How likely is it that Heron Cloth will be in at launch? I would give that about a 50-50 shot. Some of the lighting type things are pretty much a slam dunk, though. Plans for gravitational effects with spells. Yeah, we're running the spells through the physics system. Let's see. Okay. What aspect of the NVIDIA package? I already answered that. PhysX is having the biggest impact on gameplay. The Shadowworks is having the biggest impact visually. Some deferred rendering, forward plus rendering. There's that, again, the focus is on scaling up to very large numbers, and forward plus lets you, if you want truly, truly massive numbers of lights with we are putting 2,000 lights into a scene, so we can actually support players all having effects going off that generate light. Are you able to compensate for some packet loss? Yes, we work really hard on that. That's probably that is the core secret sauce of our architecture. Will there be blood?
You'll just have to stand by and see.
What has been the biggest technical challenge you guys have had to overcome so far? The networking architecture and dealing with packet loss. That's probably, that is probably the single hardest thing I've ever written in my life, but seeing it all come together makes me really happy.
And that's actually really important thing for me to jump in on again, is that we have been focusing, just as I promised you guys, on technical, foundational, bits of this game engine, okay? It hasn't been, oh, can we make the pretty now? Andrew and the team have spent so much time focusing on that because, frankly, you know, if we don't do it now, it's going to be even harder to do 6 months from now and almost impossible to do a year and a half from now. And so we'd rather be spending, you know, it's more fun, of course, to do all the other things, but this is the stuff we have to do. This is why you guys gave us your donations. So we would do the smart thing, not the expedient or, you know, the pretty thing.
Okay, so how many people can Zerg versus Zerg at the same time without a crash from loading all the textures of every character? That's a fun question. So Warhammer, which I was the lead client engineer on, had a system where we would basically scale down and use smaller and smaller textures for people far away. So, you know, it would just be balancing the memory. And you'll also remember that War had some problems with that at launch. You know, you would get up too close to something and the texture wouldn't be loaded in, and you know, you'd see low res things occasionally. And by about 6 months after launch, all of those were nailed down. I remember how I did it, and this is, you know, we are just starting from knowing how to solve that problem and taking that to the next level.
Okay, guys, it is now 12 o'clock, and it is time for us to say goodbye and move on to the next item in our schedule. So, folks, we'll be, Andrew and I will be sitting in other presentations. Obviously, I'm going to be doing my own. Andrew's going to be doing his own. We'll do some others together as well. I hope you've enjoyed, you know, not only this presentation, but the other things we've talked about this morning. There's a lot more coming. So again, thanks all, and that's it for now.
All right, bye guys.
Okay, thank you, Mark and Andrew, for all